Hello and thank you for joining me. This presentation is designed to build strong speaking skills. So let's take a journey in time to search for the answers as to why some of us have consternation about public speaking. But before we get started, if you have any form of anxiety and feel that this course may affect you, please stop the video now and review the disclaimer in this module. Otherwise, you may continue with the course. So here is the rundown. We'll take a journey back to the beginning where it all started, where you experienced your first speaking in public encounter. We'll discuss the mindfulness behind public speaking or speaking in general in order to gain a better understanding as to why some of us react the way we do when we speak in public. Then we'll journey into how to overcome the fear of speaking and some tools that you will be given to be more empowered. Although some may have already had speaking experience, we'll even wrap up what you already know. Finally, we will close out this lesson discussing the importance of having a vision for being a power speaker. Let's get started. For many people, speaking in public is uncomfortable in a small setting or an auditorium of hundreds of people. However, after this course, you will not be a part of those statistics. That takes us back to the beginning where Schneier and others argue we learn self-consciousness and fear of negative evaluation very early in life. And the byproduct of this anxiety results in sweating, tremors, panic, avoidance, and poor eye contact, all of which play into the speaking behavior and affect our ability to be good speakers. So what does this mean? It means that without the tools or the language for changing that anxiety or social situation, it can be impactful and affect our self-esteem. And a power speaker depends on high self-esteem. Professionals or individuals in management are impaired from being effective when they have social anxiety. In most cases, your role as a leader requires that you deliver public speaking. In your worksheets, you will have an opportunity to reflect on some of the deeper questions about your experiences of speech anxiety. We've discussed social behavior related to the fears of speaking in public. Now I want to turn to the psychology of speaking in public. Mindset goes a long way to becoming a power speaker. The behavior that we exhibit when we present ourselves should be that of confidence. When you posture in a confident way, you send the perception of confidence. Above all else, your message is powerful in itself. As a speaker, you have the responsibility to set expectations for the way your audience will respond. These are all the concepts that we will be discussing further. Mindset requires that we give attention to our attitudes. It is a process and journey to make the right shifts. And there are two types of mindsets, fixed or growth. A fixed mindset means an individual is just not willing to or afraid to make changes. Growth mindset, now this is my favorite. This concept enables you to shift and pivot away from a fixed mindset. For example, if you have been rehearsing to yourself that you are not a good speaker, chances are your performance will be in alignment with that belief. However, when you are operating in a growth mindset, you highlight your assets, you resist the temptation to go backwards, and you make a commitment to hold true to your growth because it is expansive and it's very liberating. So how do we grow our mindsets? We do it by changing our behavior. It requires us to be in the moment, mindful of others, conscientious of our ideals, and being assertive. The behaviors that we exhibit allow the audience to have a perception of our performance. It's also a two-way street where we have the ability to perceive our audience as well. More importantly, perception must be accurate. So take the time to check for accuracy when you are on the stage, around the boardroom table, or when you're speaking to your teams. Checking for accuracy simply means that you are ensuring that your audience is interpreting your message the way you intended. and we'll cover more about this concept in another lesson. Just know that your audience perceives more than appearance. They have perceptions about your message. Make sure that what you have to say matters to them. You're providing information that they need, which should give you some confidence that they value what you have to say. And in order to keep your audience's attention, you're going to need to be very clear and concise. The easiest way to relinquish power speaking is just to ramble and lose your message. Finally, check in with your audience. Make sure that they are properly interpreting your message. Here is where you have an opportunity to adapt to your audience, and we'll discuss more about audience adaptation later. You can probe your audience along the way and ask them questions to calibrate so that you know that they are following along with you. Okay, we've reached the point where you have done your spill and now your audience is ready to express their reception of it. Audience response is not only important, it is necessary. It allows you to do some performance checking. Did you open strongly, build a strong message, and close strongly? Did you adapt to the audience when appropriate? Did you feel the energy in the room? Feedback is critical to becoming a power speaker, so take the time to reflect upon what you did in order to improve your speaking. If that's not enough, here are some tools that we can use to overcome the fear of speaking. They are understanding those moments of memories, build better habits, plan, use the right tools and techniques, and practice. Let's begin with the first tool, which is to understand those moments of memories. Memories can be attached to emotion or even some anxiety. When you recognize them, you deal with them a little bit better. Revisit your worksheet to identify and pinpoint your unique memories to shift behavior and to reduce those powerful memories. The next tool is to build better habits. We cannot change what happened in our past, but we can replace it with a better memory that helps us to associate it with our current message. Another tool that's invaluable is to build a plan for speaking. Some people are good at speaking extemporaneously, but that is not the majority of people, and if that's not you, then you need a plan. You will find a checklist in your workbook to assist you with developing your speaking plan. Now, your ideas need to be well thought out so that your audience can follow along with you. They also follow along with the speaker when the speaker has mastered certain techniques, and we'll spend some time discussing strategies for public speaking. Above all else, practice, practice, practice. Even if you're setting up a meeting with a senior leader, you need to practice what you will say. In doing so, you are internalizing your content, and it will be delivered in an organic way, which is essentially power speaking. Up to this point, I have discussed building power speaker skills, but now I want to shift to how to ramp up your power speaking, even when you started your journey of speaking already. The first thing you want to do is use what you already have. Identify all your strong skills and ask the question, how can I make them better? You'll have a chance to go through this process within your worksheet, so don't feel like you have to answer that right now. But you will need to set aside quality time to really draw on your speaking past to get those nuggets that you're seeking. The next thing you want to do is use what you already know. You have a wealth of knowledge inside of you. In many cases, you are the subject matter expert. You have knowledge about how you emotionally project to your audience. These are your assets. Build upon them. Later, we will spend time discussing emotional intelligence and its connection with power speaking. But ultimately, take it to the next level and don't be afraid to push yourself out of your comfort zone. The power speaker's vision, as we close out this session, is important, and I want to talk about your power speaking vision. To truly exhibit power speaking, you have to visualize yourself doing it. You have to be willing to pivot from fear to confidence as you face your gremlins. And gremlins are those doubts that try to infiltrate your thinking. When they appear, just forge ahead. Your vision should always include a strong message every time you speak. Don't say things to be saying things, otherwise, you haven't said anything, like this example. What you have to say should absolutely matter. Finally, know your power and influence and visualize yourself owning the room as you speak. Congratulations! You have just completed your time travel and why it's so important to return to the origins of where your memories of speaking began to build a strong growth mindset that you are a power speaker in any situation. I'll see you in the next module.